What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first video on the Watch Us React YouTube channel. I am your host, Rob, joined by the other host of Watch Us React, Rick. And in this video, bring you none other than our Thor Love and Thunder review, which was just released this past weekend. We have a lot of thoughts, so definitely
Yes, we do.
join us in our first movie review. We got a lot coming up on the YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe, like this video for more reviews, reactions. Obviously, the channel is called Watches React, so we will be reacting to a couple of new TV shows coming down the road. This man right here, Rick, is going to be joined by our other host, Fred, on the special Resident Evil Netflix show, so definitely check that out later on in the week. So, Rick, Thor, Love and Thunder. You know it's Marvel Phase 4. Let me know your thoughts of, right before you went into the movie theater and during movie. How did you come out from Love and Thunder?
I mean, I I have a lot of thoughts on this film. Um, so I there was a lot of hype between for this Thor. I was really looking forward to Christian Bale playing Gore the God Butcher, and I was really looking forward to it. Before we even got into it, there was a lot of hype behind it. But I was excited. I really liked Thor Ragnarok. I really enjoyed that film, and I had a that's one of my favorite Thor movies. Just to throw that out there. So I had high
Which I think
expectations.
I think it'll be a lot of people's top movie is Ragnarok.
Right, right. So I was excited. When I was going into seeing this Thor Love and Thunder, and I got there and I left, and I'm a little conflicted with it, to be quite honest with you. There's a lot of things that we're gonna dive into during the review. I just felt there was a lot of missed opportunities. I felt that there was a lot of maybe I don't know if it's pacing issues, or I don't know
Hmm.
if it's tone issues with the film, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and I really don't know how to feel about all of it. So I'm like in this weird place where it had good moments, and I feel that Thor. I like Thor as an Avenger, and I've always enjoyed his character, but there's a lot of weird moments with Thor, and we kind of spoke about this a little bit. And there's a lot of weird moments there. There's a lot of different tones that the film tries to bring in.
Hmm.
Kind of feel like all at once, and then I just don't know how to feel.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I went in there. Obviously, there's a lot of hype to any Marvel movie, but with Thor being the first one to get sort of like, what is it, the fourth film of like a solo, there was a lot of hype. Christian Bale coming in as Gore the Butcher, the God Butcher. So it's just like, okay, Ragnarok I enjoyed because of what Taika Waititi brought to the table, but leaving Love and Thunder, it's like I can see people's comparisons on why they say it's like a Thor Ragnarok 2.0. I wouldn't go as far as to say 2.0. I feel like they kind of took a lot of instances from Ragnarok and kind of just maybe either perfected it to say, or maybe peaked with like comedy and stuff like that. But overall, I feel like the movie definitely suffered from pacing. It suffered from character development. This movie honestly should have gone probably an extra 20, 30 minutes, in my honest opinion. It just felt like we got that great opening scene of Gore just going in and killing one of the gods. Even though I hated that actor who played, I don't know if it was like the sun god or something, but he was just like, I hated that guy. But I wish we would have gotten a little bit more scenes or like a montage of him just slaying different gods. But just the overall tone of it's like Natalie Portman coming back as Lady Thor and everything, but it's just like her story. Her story just kind of just like, all right, she has cancer, and then it kind of just like, I don't know. It ends sort of abruptly for me when it comes to that. We also just didn't see her getting Mjolnir. Like we saw the
Right.
pieces of the hammer like lifting up, and then all of a sudden she's Lady Thor and she knows how to fight. Like there's just a lot of these little holes that was just just wasn't so too much of a fan of. But I will say it for me personally, I think Love and Thunder has the edge over Ragnarok for me. I don't know. I just think it's because of the
Right.
ensemble of the cast. Like it was Ragnarok was fun with Hulk, but I don't know. Like I think the everybody else played their part. I just think the movie could have gone a little bit longer. You know.
Yeah, I feel they missed an opportunity with Gore the God Butcher. I really feel they missed an opportunity with Christian Bale. I'm
Great
not a big
performance though. Great
right,
performance.
absolutely, and I think that's why I feel that opportunity was missed because he's killing gods, so he's a threat. He's a legitimate threat. It's not like
Yeah, exactly.
he's not like just some kind of throwaway villain. He is a legitimate threat that is like definitely like could like everything hangs in the balance, and I just didn't feel that with
Hmm.
I didn't feel the sense of urgency. He has the power to kill gods. So we don't, and then like you just said, we don't see that. We see like maybe it was a transmission between Thor sees the transmission and he sees that gods are dying all over the place, but we don't
Hmm.
see you know Gore the God Butcher actually going out and actually wreaking havoc and using the necro sword and summoning these shadow monsters. And we don't really have a lot. I feel like there's not a lot of Christian Bale. I feel like we see him in the village when
Yeah.
we'll see him in the beginning, then we see him in the village when he's attacking. Well, that's his really first encounter with Thor, and then we kind of see him having his little monologues with the children and stuff like that, and then we see him at the end. And I just feel like with such a threat, I felt like, and his story is a really strong story
Hmm.
because at the end of the film, you sympathize with Gore because he lost his daughter in the beginning of the film, so you can see he's not just like someone who's mindlessly going out and killing gods because he just feels like it.
Yeah, just for no
He's doing
reason.
it right. He's doing it because he lost his people. He lost his daughter. He believed in gods, and then this one god just kind of tells him, hey, you just have to deal with it.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
that kind of revenge story kind of is like one of the first villains I'm kind of like I sympathize with, and I think that's kind of like, and even though Scarlet Witch is not a villain, but you can understand
Hmm.
like her plight. Why is she angry? Why is she going on like ravaging everyone and killing everyone? In Multiverse of Madness, it's like you understand. And this villain, I feel, is like he has a really good reason to do what he's doing, and I feel like that they lost an opportunity with him. I feel like and we were talking about it earlier. You were telling me that like a lot of scenes were cut out,
Yeah.
and I saw something on I saw it on social media where like Christian Bale did like this scream, and it was so like guttural and so like
Yeah, I think it
angry.
was like it was one of his favorite scenes, and it got cut off from the original film. I think that was the headline of the news post.
I
Um,
mean,
but yeah,
like like right there, I'm just like, so I don't know how much was left on the cutting room floor. I don't know what they didn't use, but I totally agree with you. I think that it could have gone on for like a good 20, 30 minutes, just building that arc,
yeah,
building Natalie Portman's, she's just, she has cancer and it's just kind of like a pacing thing. Like she just shows up and then she becomes Mighty Thor. And then it's like all this is happening. I'm trying to like, and then there's like, Motley Crue playing in the background. I'm like, okay, it's like all in my face, and I'm just like, well, I feel I had a lot of good moments. I just feel the pacing was kind of off for me.
gotcha. So when it comes to the positives of the film, what would you say are your top three positives of Love and Thunder?
Well, I'm a big fan of the goats. I really like the goats. It was
Goats.
just kind of like it was just
It
the
was a
goats
funny,
were
funny
really,
meme.
yeah. I just feel like that was a really funny like that moment right there, and I really like the humor that they've put into Thor.
Hmm.
I've always enjoyed that part of like Ragnarok and Love
Okay.
and Thunder, and it shares that. So if I really like that. Uh, the relationship that he's building with everyone in the universe. He's with Tessa Thompson. He has this relationship, this community. And I really like that in for the film. So I really enjoyed that very much. but that's that. You said three positives. I'm
Three
just like,
positives. We're just doing three positives, and then I'll give my three. We'll do negative after.
I mean, I don't know what else. Like,
If you don't have a positive, that's completely fine. You know,
I
like
give you, I
as
give
we
you
said,
two.
there's a lot of things in this film
Right,
that
right,
were
right.
off.
So
So I think for me, one of my positives is actually, which to a lot of people it was a negative, but I thought it was actually hilarious to go with the story. Is this whole Stormbreaker Mjolnir like love story,
right,
which is was it was honestly hilarious. Like maybe they gone a little extreme when he was on when they were on the ship on the Bifrost and he started pouring beer on Stormbreaker. I for that part I didn't really care, but when he was trying to summon Mjolnir and Stormbreaker just kind of comes out from the side and it's just and he's like, oh yeah, like I was summoning you, but like I found that one pretty hilarious. uh Another positive is just overall Christian Bale's acting as Gore the God Butcher. I think I wish we would have gotten more, but from what I just saw, he probably became easily one of my top favorite Marvel villains. If he had more, he could have just been even higher. I don't know if you can consider Scarlet Witch a Marvel villain, but yeah, I think it was just Christian Bale as the actor for that. And then some of the cinematography it was a positive for me. I think that moment where they were lurking in the shadows in that moon planet crater type situation where everything just went black and white. I think that was one of my all time favorite scenes from that film, like hands down. Um, One little thing is just Natalie Portman when she had Mjolnir and turned it on as like a lamp when she was walking by. It actually showed off the color
right.
as Mjolnir lit up. So it was just that, and then like just the use of the shadows and everything, I thought was great. I'll kick off my negatives, and then we'll kick it back to you. My negatives are pretty much. I think Thor's humor is fine. I just don't like the stupid Thor. I just feel like Thor is just too dumb now. Like it's a little sad to say, but I feel like he's just too dumb. There's a lot of moments like in the beginning where he's with the Guardians of the Galaxy and he's trying to save the palace from whatever, and it's just like you destroy it. It's like, bro, you're not that clumsy. He breaks a hole through the township in New Asgard. Like you're indoors and you're really gonna fly out through the ceiling. Like, come on, like that's just dumb. It gave me very reminiscent vibes of Thor one. You know, he was arrogant, he was stubborn, he lost Mjolnir because he wasn't worthy, because he was causing destruction like that. Um, I think was that my second negative? I don't know.
That's
Uh,
yeah. That was your second.
that was my second.
Yeah.
Okay, I think my third negative would just have to be just certain things not clicking and kind of just being like, what, like Thor giving the kids the ability to be Thor. Like, why couldn't you do that with the Avengers? Like, if you knew you had this type of power, it was just, why didn't that happen in previous movies? So it's just like, I feel like every movie they're just kind of like coming out with something new, like, oh, Thor can do this, Thor can do that, and then it's just like, dude, what? um but yeah, well, what would you say some of your negatives are?
Well, Christian Bale, not his acting, is the lack of Christian Bale. I feel like you said, I feel that was, his performance, just a little bit that we got from him. It was, I would have liked to see more. I would have liked to
Yep.
see his. I would like to see more urgency with the characters. There was urgency, but not enough for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that that was a big missed opportunity. Um, I feel that they could have utilized that, more. I think that like I said, his villain is dynamic and it has many layers to it, and you can sympathize with him and you can understand his plight. So why not kind of, take that and run with it,
Yeah.
because you're kind of in the, as a viewer, it works because you're kind of like, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I do agree with what he's doing because he's a parent.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a human being. He's just, stuff that we deal with. And I think that kind of just humanizes it a bit, and it just gives it kind of like, yeah, it is Marvel and it is superheroes, but you kind of give that human element, and it's kind of like that. I feel that opportunity was missed, like by like a long shot. I feel that was one of my like, you know, I think that was like my biggest one. I mean, like, I'm just like, it just bothers me so much, like, because there was so much hype to it. I was just like, come on, guys. I mean, and I gotta agree with you with Thor being like this jock who doesn't know what he's doing,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of that jockey arrogant, and I'm just like, I guess I don't know how, because he's hurt because he can't find anyone he loves,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, it's just, and that has to go with the tones. Like, he wants to find love, but he wants to be appreciated, but he wants to love, and he wants to. So it's kind of like back and forth, and it just I don't, and that tone, the tones. I just think there's too many tones in it.
Hmm.
I wish that was more, you know, uh, solidified for me a bit. Like, I don't mind it having different things. Like, you want to be funny, you want to be a romance, you want to
Yep.
be, But I feel like when you start throwing it all over the place, I don't know whether to laugh, because in one scene, I think Christian Bale comes off a little bit funny, and I think when he's talking to the children, when he
Yeah.
kills
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, I know it's a Thor movie, but why are we doing this? And the third thing is, how are we which I'm like little, how are we advancing phase 4? I mean, like, we have
Yeah.
the, Hercules, which is, but in the grand scheme of it, like, where are we heading to now? Because how many films have come out already for
Kind
we
of just
have.
it kind of just felt like its own standalone universe at this point, right? Like
Right, like, what is it pushing, because in the last phase, it was leading all to this ultimate,
every movie was some way connected.
exactly, leading to this final showdown with, this
I mean, I'm pretty
omnipotent,
sure there's
you
Easter
know
eggs and people have like dug deeper than
right.
what we have. So I'm pretty sure there's an answer there somewhere. Um, but yeah, so to pretty much wrap this up, out of 10, we're gonna try and do this. We're gonna see how this whole rating thing
Oh,
works.
numbers are just up
Yeah,
now.
I know. But you know what? Let's just throw it in there. Out of 10, what would you give Marvel Studios' Thor: Love and Thunder?
I I give it a 6.5, 7
Ooh.
out of 10. I'll lean more till 7,
Okay.
because I have a lot of moments that I like. Thor imbuing the children with the powers, the
Mm-hmm.
goats, the Colosseum, the whole exchange between Thor and Zeus. I thought that was pretty cool. It's pretty funny. Uh, I wish more Christian Bale. I'm sorry, more Christian Bale. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel you.
I land more on the 7 scale, just because the pacing, the tones, and more Christian Bale. So that's where
Gotcha.
I'm.
I would lean towards. I'm at a 7, 7.5. If you were to look at my tweets when it first came out, I was like, this is an 8, 8.5. And then I had the weekend to kind of just like simmer on it. And yeah, I would say 7, 7.5 for me, mainly for the fact is I did like the jokes. The jokes were funny. However, I feel moving forward for this final movie, if Taika Waititi is taking over that film, I think it's just gonna be we're gonna be tired of the jokes by that point. I feel like with Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, he's sort of like peaked in his comedy for Thor. I would love to see a slightly much like take this Thor and then just give him a little bit more serious tone. Like, Jane is gone, but he has his closure now. He's not this lost puppy anymore. Let's give us like Mighty Thor, God of Thunder type deal. But he can still be funny. He can still have his jokes here and there. But I would definitely, if this is to be Chris Hemsworth's last Thor film, being like whatever the fifth, I really hope it goes out with a bang. So I'd say 7, 7.5. Just the jokes. Um, the jokes kind of help me out with the pacing and everything. But I think if we got more of that, that'd be it for me. Um, but yeah, Rick, we did it.
We didn't.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this was our first video, first review, first anything on the Watch Us React channel. We're excited for you guys to be on this wonderful journey, creative journey with us. This is one of my best friends here, and we've been dying to work on something. So we're glad that you guys are joining us with the Thor review first. Like we mentioned before, later this week or whenever this is coming out, uh, we have Fred and Rick going to be reacting episode by episode, which is what we hope to be doing with future shows, with the Netflix Resident Evil show. Please, please, please give us feedback, leave us comments, tweet us. Our links are down in the description below. Whatever feedback you have for us, any criticism, please let us know. Anything to make the viewing experience better for you guys is always a plus for us. If you have any tips on how to do the reactions with TV shows, definitely reach out because we're newbies when it comes to this. We're streamers, we're this, but when it comes to what we're doing here, it's a whole new world. So I just want to thank you guys for joining us on this Thor: Love and Thunder review. Is there something you want to close off with, Rick?
You summed it up pretty well. We want to bring a really good experience, and this is our first foray into this. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to entertaining and being entertained, and just being on this content creation journey, new one. Very different for me as I stream. So this is the YouTube universe, which I'm
the
respecting
the
with thanks to the gods.
YouTubes.
But yeah, give us feedback, hit us down in the comments below. Just let us know what would you like to see, and any suggestions, any films and stuff like that. Please send it, put it in the comments below. We'll look it over, and hopefully we can fit it into our very busy. So it looks like a very busy content creation
we've got a
season,
lot
right?
coming up. So
We do have a lot. Super
any
excited, but
literally any suggestions you got, just bring it on. But yeah, for myself and Rick, truly appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
take care.